Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya RISMA NURUL dari kelas 2D Psikologi Islam IAIN Surakarta, NIM 201141132. Di sini saya ingin mempresentasikan tentang the role of Islamic psychology in pandemic COVID-19, a conceptual study for developing positive emoticon of parents and children. Abstract. Pandemic COVID-19 had a global and comprehensive impact. The consequences arising from the epidemic of corona disease are felt by all religious, adherents, countries, and people without the age limit. Pandemic COVID-19 had a global and comprehensive impact. The consequences arising from the epidemic of corona disease are felt by all religious, adherents, countries, and people without the age limit. COVID-19 also controlled economic, political, social, and spiritual space. This virus also not only assaults physical but has disturbed the psychological health of many people. Therefore, Islamic psychology strengthens the psychological health that can enhance the body resistance from corona disease through several stages. Pandemic COVID-19 provided many changes in life. One the significant change felt is in education. The point is that learning continues even though students and teachers are in their respective homes, especially for elementary school students. They were accompanied by their parents to operation their gadget. The most vulnerable problems is uncontrolled emotion. Not all parents have a good understanding. They must explain the lesson patently because children do not readily accept their parents' explanation. Unstable and weight control emotions eventually impact on children. The central lessons are in the Quran and the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. In particular, Al-Quran is a cure for all ills, giving peace and being the best solution for all human life problems. So, seeing phenomena in society, parents' anxiety, and the boredom of children at home, the remedy is returning the Quran and the Sunnah of the Rasulullah. Al-Quran is a guide to the Muslim life. Al-Quran, there's need to be a study to see the verses contained in it with a review of interpretations of the commentator who can then be seen that there has been a beginner and instruction for solving various problems in life. Islamic psychology has been discussed in any discipline, but at the level theory and empirical study. It means that a person's immune system must be before durable, not before when they are only at home. On the factor that influence to the body be strong in the face of a virus attack is to have positive emotions. A growing volume of research now documents the benefits of religious faith on immune function and vulnerability to infection and viral infection, in particular disease. Many systematic scientific studies have reported a positive association between religious involvement and healthy immune function indicator. Research now shows that those with compromised immune system due to viral infection better immune function if the engage in the religious activity. One randomized controlled trial has shown improved immune function among those with viral infection response, spiritual inversion, a recent summary of study examining the impact of religious or spiritual involvement of on immune competent infection risk behavior, infection rates, adherence to treatment for disease and program for prevention or treatment of infection. The Islamic faith gives believer to the hope that perfect happiness, peace, tranquility, security, and freedom for fair will be present in paradise. And those who do good deeds and have faith are granted to have a good life here and everlasting life in paradise. Quran. Conclusion: the emotional regulation of parents and children has been regulated in Islam. It is described through the verses of the Quran and model examples of the Prophet. Parents being counselor for children to maintain positive emotions. The way to be taken by parents is to build their positive emotion first, keeping the mind clear and calm. Of one of them is to get rid of anxiety by sticking to good promise. Meanwhile, to overcome anxiety in children, what must be considered is to instill faith in the Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to children. Then parents give children freedom of action, assume the responsibility and practice carry out tasks according to their level of growth and development, remembering not to scare children. Should be given to the freedom to associate and get acquainted with others so that they can realize they are a place of affection, teaching children the life story of prophets and apostles of Allah and education children to be moral. When he grow up, the child can solve the problem as a result of his faith and spiritual development, which is sincere and profound. Parents teach positive emotion through education about Islam. They also solve the problem involved in the where Islam is a religion that has the value eternity and universality until Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala becomes the hair, earth, and everything on it to be used responsibility, care through education and awareness must be done with security, patience, and avoid excessive punishment, and provide a variety of media to support problem solving in a language that is friendly and attractive. Children also become friends with parents, so there are times when parents just and discuss with children so that they feel respect and needed. Such effort in practice can be made by building secure attachment in children so they will grow as an adult who has maturity and has good mental. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.